This is Foxboro's Fortress, your home for all the latest on the New England Revolution. Brought to you by Leading Lights, LLC. Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Foxboro's Fortress, your home for all the latest on the New England Revolution. Again, I'm Cecil Kenney.
And I'm Raphael Babchuck.
And today we have the Caleb Pongratz on with us today. Say hi, Caleb.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Always.
Today we will break down that late loss to Charlotte and a look ahead to the Chicago Fire match. Big thanks to our sponsor, Leading Lights LLC, for sponsoring this episode. More on them later. For now, let's dive into that cruel loss to Charlotte FC.
It's Jackson Ewell.
Yeah, Jackson Ewell.
Let's just kick it off with him.
Yeah, he entered the lineup after Matt Polster was suspended in that previous match in Columbus. So Allroth and Malcolm Fry were on the bench.
Yeah, I liked seeing Fry on the bench.
Yeah,
I thought he was a welcome sight. Caleb, you watch a bunch of the Revs 2 games. How's he been performing down there? Because I don't really keep up with that Revs 2 side.
Yeah, Malcolm Fry has had himself quite the year for MLS Next Pro. I know he started the season kind of in a bad start. He had a hamstring injury, I believe, or a quad injury for a large portion of the preseason. That affected his ability to start the season with the first team. So he's been primarily with the second team. He's made 11 appearances for them, 8 starts, and he has 4 goals, 2 assists with them. So he's contributing at a high level, 82% pass percentage. I believe he's 65% on success rate on successful dribbles as well. So Malcolm Fry's been very, 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 very good for the Revs too. And I was happy to see that he got his opportunity at least to dress with the first team. I think we need to see more of that and need to give more of our younger players an opportunity, especially with how this season has been going for the New England Revolution.
I do like seeing Alan Roth on the bench. He's been doing. I know I've kept up with him because he's been a recent Revs signing, so I've kept up with him for Revs too. Not many of the other players, but I've seen Roth performing well down there. I really hope he gets his MLS debut soon. He was in the Open Cup, but Caleb Porter has not handed him his MLS debut, which I feel like with the state of the team right now, should be something we do.
I agree.
And I feel like this match would have been a nice match to get him in.
Polster was suspended, so you don't have that. So Jackson Ewell starting, which I know I'll be bringing in this podcast that we don't really certainly like Jackson Ewell, especially with his pay. But I didn't think he had the most terrible of games. He was at best okay, which I guess is a step up. Still not worth that price tag and what we're paying him. But it was okay for the game. But in terms of performance, definitely missed Polster, you could see.
Yeah, I feel like Jackson Ewell came in and did a shift for sure. Obviously he's on an egregious pay wage, which doesn't make it easy for anyone when Jackson Ewell comes in and doesn't really contribute as much. I would honestly say this probably was one of his better games on the year. But the big glaring thing here for me is New England really played a 4-4-2 today. Even though it was a 4-2-3-1, at times they looked like a 4-4-2 against Charlotte, and I would much rather see Carlos Heel drop into Jackson Ewell's spot and play a flat with Yusuf or play a 4-1-2-1-2 and see Tomas Shankalai start the game. I don't know why New England didn't pivot to that. Again, Tomas Shankalai, a designated player for the Revs, he's gone 3 games now without starting. That's concerning to me, and I don't think that. I asked Caleb Porter about the LAFC game, why he made the decision. He said it was a tactical one. It's not a tactical one after 3 games in a row. I think there's something there. It's really glaring, and to be frank, Langoni started over Chancalay because with Ganago healthy, he's gonna start. So when you take a look at the 2 players, Langoni and Chancalay, Langoni hasn't had a good year at all. No. At all. He's been there. Again, this is a player that is the most expensive signing in Revs history. Luca Langoni at $7 million. And he just hasn't done enough. He hasn't done enough for me to be that guy. I just need to see more. I need to see more, and with Chankly being on the bench, he's one of the Revs' best offensive threats. I looked at the stats yesterday because I brought this up on social media and compared their stats. Tomas Chankly, before the game, had 4 goals and 1 assist in league play, compared to Luca Langoni, 1 goal and 2 assists. Okay, pass accuracy was 81 to 83. Cross accuracy was 30 to 15 in favor of Chankly. Dribble success rate was 53 to 48 in favor of Chankly. Tackles won was 53 to 62 in favor of Langoni, and 42 to 46 on duels won in favor of Langoni. You need to see more. Again, Tomas Chankly has only played 880 minutes this year. That's very bad in league play. And you're saying Luca Langoni now has 1,375 minutes? That's a red flag to me. It's a
Yeah.
huge red flag to me. I don't know why Tomas Shankly is starting on the bench.
Yeah. Like, part of the problem, we talk about Jackson Newell and his outrageous salary.
No.
When you bring that up, you got to bring up Luca Langoni and his $7 million price tag, $8 million price tag, and he has done next to nothing. He showed flashes last year in the short time we had him, and then he has done absolutely nothing this year.
Yeah.
And then Chunkalai, he hasn't gotten the minutes. He's, like you've said, 3 games straight now on the bench. And coming off the bench, yes, he came on in the 80th minute, and Porter said after the game, I thought we are playing well enough that I didn't have to go to my bench. We were playing well, not like amazing,
Yeah.
but like you could have definitely used, I would have liked to see. I know it's not like a step up, but like give me a Malcolm Fry thrown in there. Show me something. Like if you were like up until whenever Charlotte scored their winner, it was a draw. You could have used some attacking talent on there. You could have put Chunklight in earlier, and you didn't. Like, are we really going for that draw? Is that how you're holding this out, Caleb Porter?
Yeah.
Because that is not what I want to see. And like, I had a semi rash reaction at the end of that game. I don't know why Thomas Chunklight was on that free kick at the very end of the game. It was weird. It would have given us a draw. I don't know why he was on that free kick though, and he gives it right to the keeper. Like, I don't know
I
why.
would I would say Chankly being on that free kick kind of makes sense. He is right-footed, and it was a right-footed angle for a shot. It wouldn't make sense for Carlos Hill to be on that ball unless he's sending a ball into the area. But in that scenario, you kind of need a shot on target. And I think that I believe he shot it towards
Bar.
he shot it to the far right instead of going close left. And if he shot it towards the close left the way he shot it,
Yeah.
probably would have went in.
Yeah.
He would have needed Kalina to force a save because he got up and down. It's just again, it is a lot of like moving parts that I look at. I mean, some of the things that Porter does, like I question, like again, 80th minute or sorry, 88th minute after the goal. I don't know why, knowing you need a goal, you wouldn't take off Eli Feingold and Mamadou Fofana and put in Wyatt Omsberg and or no, sorry, not Wyatt Omsberg, Alan Yearworth and Malcolm Fry and go to a 3-5-2. Like I don't know why you wouldn't do that. You need a goal. You need a goal. And if Brian Ceballos is dead, throw Will Sands out there and just go Ceballos, Miller, and Sands. Like we need the offensive threats going forward. But looking at the bench again, glaring red flag. Who's the only attacking option on the bench? Tomas Shakalai.
Yeah.
Who's the other midfielder option? Alan Yearworth and Malcolm Fry. Malcolm Fry, by the way, as well, majority of his games has been played at left back.
Yeah, I don't get that.
He's not playing left wing that much anymore or right wing anymore. A lot of the time he's been playing outside back. So
Is the Hakimi story? Is that how we're running this?
it's the Noel Buck story. It's the same thing. Go to Southampton, you play left back. It happens. It
It's
just
weird.
happens. That's how it works.
Caleb Porter, please use more subs. Please go. Like, we're gonna get. I'm gonna bring this up now. I was gonna bring it up later, but I am. No, I guess I'll bring it up later. It's about the Chicago match. We'll bring that up later. Um, we. I'm gonna give my one good, one bad for real quick. Gonna go. I think actually did somewhat decent. He actually scored a goal. He's been scoring, not consistently, but like he's actually scoring goals nowadays. And it's not many. It's not. It didn't make a difference. We still lost, but you know we like goals.
Yeah, we like
So
goals.
and
I
then
thought we were like, fine with Charlotte. I mean, I thought in the game, I thought we were apart from that first, maybe 10 minutes of the game. I thought we played a little. I thought we were a little better than Charlotte in most areas of the game, like by even some whiskers. But I felt like we played well. We had that 1-1 draw till about that I think 87th, 88th minute when
yeah,
he done took Lamati headed that ball in the net. But even that first goal, um, it was kind of a bad on the defense. Peyton Miller. It was a ball played in by Zaha over the top, and then it was headed into the box, and obviously they ended up scoring. From my angle, it was I didn't think it was too controversial that the ball got across the line. A couple of people in my section were like, "Oh, I don't know." To
I
me,
heard
clearly,
a
they crossed the line. Yeah,
I heard a story from my parents that like the people behind them had said like, "Oh, why didn't it count?" And it's like because they had like two goalies in the net, and it was
yeah.
because there's like no, they weren't using their hands. It was because there was like two people in the net.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is a yeah, I don't know about
God,
that, but I felt like we were the better. I think our good is that it was kind of an improvement. I do think we did miss Matt Polster, and that's going into
yeah,
my bad is not necessarily Jackson Ewell, but it's my bad is that we did miss. You could see that we missed Matt Polster a little bit during the game, and I think like maybe we could have won that game, even got that draw, and we were unlucky to have that goal conceded.
I just have a grudge against Jackson Newell, so
Yeah, yeah,
that's just my bad.
yeah,
No, it's valid. I think if I look at this game, I think I can agree that Chocolate or not Chocolate, sorry, Ganago is good. We've known that he's good. I think he is a good player. The just one downside of Ganago is if he is signed at the end of the year, he'll be a designated player. I do not think he's good enough to be a designated player.
Yeah.
He is a good player. He should not and is not as good enough, or is not good enough to be a designated player. Um, I think he's finding his form. He's a talented player. He draws a lot of penalties you have to take into account. He also scores goals, but you still need like notions of expressive play, and he needs to show that a little bit more. For the bad, I think the bad's on Caleb Porter. It's not really that, and I would say like. Should New England have won? I don't know. Personally, I think the better team won. I think Charlotte was the better team the whole game. Yes, New England had shots. Yes, they outshot them 19-9. But how many of their shots were actually good shots? Looking back on the replay, I counted 7 of the shots from 35 yards out directly at Christian Kalina. That's not doing anything. Like a 10-year-old would save it if it's kicked right at you. Like, what are we wasting? So if you take that into account, that 19-9, again, it was 6-4 for shots on goal. The Revs bad is on Caleb Porter and their finishing. Their finishing has not been good enough. Not even close. And
We're hitting
we'll talk. Go ahead.
we're hitting the bar and the woodwork, and it's somewhat consistent too. You got Luca Langoni, who seems to be a post merchant, and just it is ridiculous how often it is. Used to fit the post, but that's like happened twice now. He's a CDM. I don't expect expect like not too much scoring out of him as a player. But Luca, if you're gonna hit the post, it better go in.
yeah.
It
Yeah,
didn't go in. It hasn't
yeah.
gone. So
If I had to summarize it, I think Ganago is good, but also is a bad because that contract. But the three, I would have 3 bads. I would have Caleb Porter. I would have the finishing, and I think the next one, or bad, not really bad, but unfortunate, is Eric Klein. If Eric Klein did not have a concussion and was out today, he probably would have started over Jackson Newell, and I 100% agree with that.
would have loved to see that.
And that one's not really bad. It's more unfortunate
It's just
because,
like unlucky type of thing.
yeah, I think Eric Kine would have started this game, and I think he would have started over Jackson Yule. But it's just unfortunate. He has a concussion at the worst time of the year. Um, maybe he gets a shot against Chicago. We don't know yet. Maybe we'll find out.
We already talked about subs. We're gonna go to our predictions here. I think it was you predicted 2-0 Charlotte.
I think I did do 2-0
I did
Charlotte.
1-0 Charlotte, I think.
Yeah.
Either way, it's not correct.
Yeah. No donuts this
I
week.
forgot to post the donut clip from, last week.
Oh, yeah, from last week.
So I'll post that after this episode. I don't know why I forgot to do it. I wanted to
Yeah.
edit it and I just didn't. So that's on me. My man of the match, gonna go because he scored the goal. I feel like he warrants some sort of man of the match. And then also my glorious king, Alsan Yusuf. I thought he had a, somewhat good game. So,
Yeah.
it's Alsan Yusuf.
I
Can't go
also,
wrong.
for you, definitely not, but definitely not.
So,
I don't know. I think it was the MLS. The MLS they posted on their account when Ganago scored the goal, and it was like great finish. I was like, if
oh,
he doesn't finish that, it's a horrible miss. So you can't really put that. I just wanted, I remember that
or was that
from the
last
game.
week?
No, it was this game
Was
versus
it really this
against
game?
when he scored that goal, which should obviously been goal. Ganago finished that like he should have, but if he didn't, it'd obviously be a terrible miss. And they wrote like, "Oh, a great finish." I don't really think it was a great finish. I thought it was a goal that you should have scored.
That doesn't go in.
Yeah, if that doesn't
We
go
are
in.
going to.
I think my man of the match is going to be Ganago. He does get us that goal. And I felt like it was good to see him back. And yeah, I don't necessarily think we should keep him on to be a DP, but for this game, I thought he was our best player. Yeah,
Yeah,
100% player.
yeah. I think my man of the match probably would have to go to uh probably Ganago. I don't really want to give Ganago the man of the match,
Yeah.
but I think he probably deserves it. In regards to Revs players, of course. If I'm picking an overall man of the match, it's probably Idan Toklamati.
Yeah.
The game winner, and he had himself a game.
He's a very good player. Getting that goal at the end. And what's with like players in the Northeast, like when they come here or they just are here? What is with them and some outrageous celebrations? Like, yeah, Idan Tokumati, you got Anthony Sahia. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
God.
for sure. Yeah.
Well,
An interesting celebration.
we lost, but
We did lose in
it's not like
last minute.
it's not like we're new to this whole losing thing.
That's true. California has prepped us good for this.
He's
Yeah.
made sure we are well accustomed.
Yes, to losing. That's for sure.
Raph, you got anything else?
Nope.
All right, Caleb, you got anything else to add on the Chicago match before we send it over to Leading Lights?
Nope, not on the Charlotte match. No way.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna leave this topic behind us. Let's send it over to Leading Lights LLC, our sponsor of the podcast. Unlock the power of your platform data with Leading Lights, experts in transforming raw numbers into compelling benchmarks. Leading Lights helps a variety of companies turn insights into engaging stories that drive growth. Elevate your brand with data-driven content that captivates your audience and sets you apart from the competition with Leading Lights. Visit their website at leadinglights.io to see how you can transform your platform data. Hello and welcome back everyone to Foxboro's Fortress, your home for all the latest on the New England Revolution. Again, I'm Cecil Kenney.
And I'm Raphael Babchuck.
And we're now going to look ahead to that Chicago Fire match coming up this Saturday.
Yeah.
They're a pretty decent team. They're not like great. They're like, I think they're 8th right now or 9th right now.
Yeah, they're 9th. They're 9th right now.
No, Red Bull's 9th. They're in no
8th.
They're in 10th.
They're in 10th.
10th.
But with games in
Trying to
hand,
figure-
2
what's-
games in hand.
What's the number in between?
Yeah. There we
What's the
go.
number in between? There we go. So the Revs are currently, I think it was
11.
9 behind 9.
Yes, 9 behind 9.
As it stands, yeah, I don't think we're making the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna go out on a limb here.
Yeah.
And just say that that's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But
Chicago Fire obviously have former U.S. men's national teams coach Greg Berhalter. So, maybe, I think we could say they have a better coach than ours, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
If people want to
maybe
say
slightly.
that, yeah, maybe slightly. I don't know. Some
Maybe-
people could say that.
maybe slightly.
But
Yeah,
Chicago has a couple good players.
yeah, they've got a solid bunch there.
Yeah,
If I'm being honest, I would have expected Chicago with, Greg Berhalter and these guys. I would have expected them to do better
agreed.
with the squad that they have. Because I feel like their front three is amazing. And then their midfield is pretty decent. They got Elliott at the back. They've got some young guys at the back, and then Chris Brady's a decent MLS keeper.
Mm,
Hey, I would have expected them to do better than 10th. So
yeah, I agree.
I feel like they're in the same boat as us, where they're really close to making that playoff push. Um, they're only 1 point out of ninth.
Yeah,
So
but then they also have, I think, 2 games in hand.
no, they have 1 game in
With
hand.
1 game in hand.
1 game in hand on us, 2 games in hand on Red Bull. So
Yeah. So
yeah,
maybe they do it. They definitely have a way better chance of making the playoffs than
they've
us.
got they've got a solid chance of making the playoffs, I'd say.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, you got any players you want to?
yeah. So they just signed Andre Franco, from Porto. I like him as a player. I don't think he'll play much because he's like a new player. I think he played a few minutes last game, but I don't think he's gonna make it too big of an impact. But if he comes in like late, I feel like he could do something. They do have some really good players like Hugo Kuipers and Brian Gutierrez, but I'm gonna go for the winger from Denmark, Philip Zinkernagel. He has been really good this season.
100%. Yeah.
I think it's what is it, 21
Yeah.
GA in 25 matches.
Yeah. 11 goals, 10
He
assists.
is
Great.
he's just I don't know where this dude came from, but
Yeah.
he's a player, and I am scared.
Yeah, great player. He's been around Europe. Boto Glimt, Club Bruges. He had a sting at Nottingham Forest and Watford in the uh, Premier League. So, he's definitely a good player, and you can see that by his goal tally. So he's definitely a player to look out for. I have Jonathan Bamba as my player to look out for. 4 assists, 4 goals in 27 matches so far. Doesn't seem like the best stats, but he is a good player. He has that experience. He played for Lille for a couple of years, Saint Etienne, Celta Vigo, and obviously now he's on Chicago. So he's a great player, someone to watch out for. When he was on Lille, he was, in my opinion, I forget they had this other winger on the team. He was a great winger on the team. He's a great player in regards of ball control and dribbling the ball. So he's a great player in terms of footwork. So someone we're going to have to look out for him and Zinkernagel on those wings. Definitely got to look out for. So Peyton Miller and Eli Feingold will have a test for them against
Got their
Chicago.
work cut out for him.
100%.
Caleb, who you got?
Yeah, I think Philip Zinkernagel is definitely the player to watch. I mean, this year he's been unreal. He's got 11 goals, 13 assists. It proves why he's an MLS All-Star this year. I spoke to him when he was down at MLS All-Star, and he actually jokingly said he had All-Star Week. He learned a lot about every player that was down there, and he was going to take information back to the coach and make sure that he can use it to his advantage. So he's a player definitely that I think is a good one to watch. And kind of looking at this Chicago team, I'm actually disappointed with Jonathan Bamba. Looking at his stat line, he only has 4 goals and 8 assists. I would have expected a lot more from him, and my next player to watch probably would have been Brian Gutierrez. I did pick him to win Young Player of the Year in my preseason predictions. I also picked Chicago Fire to win MLS Cup this year in my preseason predictions. So I think Chicago are going to make the playoffs. I think they are a playoff team, especially when you have a designated player forward in Hugo Kuipers that has 15 goals and 2 assists. Um, Again, the threshold for a DP forward should be 15 minimum. No one on the Revs is near that. But they have it. I think Chicago has to just figure out their kinks and make it work, but I think that they are a playoff team, and I think that they will do well to end out the year and make the playoffs.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially they have the Revs twice on their schedule. So that's always a big good for them, I guess. Not for us. What are we thinking for the game? Yeah.
I do
So,
want to say, Caleb, congrats on your prediction about Seattle Sounders on the Leagues Cup.
oh yeah.
Saw that this morning. That was pretty good.
Thank you. Ball
Uh,
knowledge immaculate.
Uh,
so predictions. I want donuts. The Revs aren't getting donuts.
yes, they're
I'll give you
definitely
that
not getting.
much.
I don't think they're getting clean sheet this game either.
We're
Yeah, I don't
letting
think Matt
we're
Turner's
letting
getting
up
donuts.
minimum 2 goals. One's
2
going
goal.
to be
I
to Phil
think.
Zingernagle and one's going to be to Brian Gutierrez.
Yeah.
And we're going to lose 2-1. And they're both going to be first half goals. We're going to be chasing a lead. We're going to get like a 60th minute goal from. Who do you want to do it from? We'll do Ganago again.
Yeah.
We'll do Ganago gets that goal. 2-1. All I really care about is Ganago scores. Raph, write that down somewhere.
Yeah, all right, 2-1, gonna go scores. All right. Um, let's see. 2-1 gonna go scores. I think they do get a goal. I think it's either 1-0 or 1-1. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 1-0. We lose away from home. I think Hugo Kuipers scores, and I think we lose 1-0 away from home. I don't really see us especially with we're losing Campana, obviously, and a couple other players to international duty, as we're going to bring up later. But yeah, I see us in a 1-0 loss away from home.
Unlucky.
Yeah, just looking back on it, New England in the dating back to 2020 are 3 wins and 3 draws on the road against Chicago. They're actually pretty good when playing in Chicago, but Chicago is a difficult place to play, and it is a new Chicago team. Um, I think just on the basis of the amount of players that the Revs are missing due to international duty, it's going to be a tough game. So I think New England loses this game 3-1. And I think we're down 3-0 at one point. So I think it's going to be bad. I think Hugo Kuipers gets a brace. I think Brian Gutierrez scores. And for the Revs,
Or the donuts.
who scores for the Revs?
That's tough. We got 0 goal scorers on the team, really. So
Oh, yeah.
Peyton Miller.
yeah,
Let's go.
let's go. Peyton Miller. Yeah,
Need to get a goal.
Sure.
yeah.
I did what I wanted to bring up earlier was the players who are on international duty, especially Leo Campana, who, you know, is our starting forward.
Yeah.
And, missing him puts like Donegal in that spot, and then like Shankly moves back into the lineup, I'm guessing, if we continue to play this formation, which I do like actually. Because I feel like I would like to see like non um what do you call it? I would like to see um I just completely lost my train of thought. That was insane. All just went. I would like to see Langoni out of the lineup, and I would like to see Campana play with Chunkalai and Gonago, that front three. But, if we can get Chunkalai in there, it's not a bad it's not
Mhm.
bad there, Give me Malcolm Fry. Put Malcolm Fry, get Oyeroth, get them their debuts. Let's do it that way, you know?
Yeah, but we do have a bunch of players going on international duty.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
You two want to
Yeah,
take
yeah.
it's going to be difficult, obviously, just looking at this lineup, especially having to play Chicago in, as Caleb Porter mentioned, is the most important game of the year. The Revs are going to be without Leo Campana, who's their starting nine. They're going to be without Dor Terjman, who again is a new nine that would be Leo Campana's backup, according to Caleb Porter, at least at when he comes in. He did mention that it's Campana's job to lose, and Terjman would come in to probably only play 4 to 5 games this year, is what Caleb Porter said. World Cup
that?
qualification windows are kind of screwing the both of them. As Campana plays Paraguay and Argentina, where Terjman plays Moldova and Italy. So those two players will be without them for this game. Then you look at the back line and you lose Mamadou Fofana. Mamadou Fofana is also in World Cup qualifiers with Mali. He plays Comoros and Ghana. And then looking ahead as well, he wasn't selected initially on the 23 man, or he was selected on the 31-man provisional roster, but was not selected on the 23-man roster. Was Al Hassan Yusuf. Caleb Porter mentioned last night that they might lose Yusuf to World Cup qualifiers. However, he was not added to the 23-man roster, though injuries and things can happen if someone comes in and they're not looking right, they will get replaced. So you might be without your starting striker, your starting center back, and one of your starting CDMs for the upcoming game. But they're not just the only players that the team's losing. A lot of Revs players in international window, more specifically for Revs 2. Alex Monis is with Philippines for the AFC U23 Asian Cup qualifiers. Chris Mbayasem is with Central Africa Republic for World Cup qualifiers. They play Madagascar and Comoros. And then Grant Emery, as well as Makai Wells and Brandon Velez, they made their respective youth national team training camps. Emery with Lithuania, and then Makai Wells with the U17s, and Brandon Velez with the U16s. Two very talented young players, as well as Emery, a very young, talented player. But looking at the grand scheme of things, New England's going to be without their starting nine, hypothetically their backup nine, their starting center back, and potentially one of their starting CDMs. But alluding to that as well, Caleb Porter did mention that Matt Polster picked up a knock in his knee, so he might also be unavailable for the match. So New England's going into this game with potentially four starters not available. So looking at the bench, looking at the numbers, you would expect Tanner Beeson or Wyatt Omsberg probably to slide in for Mamadou Fofana in that center back spot. In regard to Leo Campana, you'll probably see Ghana go shift up to the nine and have Chankalai at left mid. Uh, Looking at the CDM spot, if you're out without Yusuf and Polster, you're going to look really at Jackson Ewell again. And if he's healthy, again, Eric Klein has a concussion. Is he available? If he is, I think it's his spot to have. If not, crazy and rogue prediction here, but he's done it before. He's done it before. And I think Caleb Porter is a sicko enough that instead of giving Alan Yearworth a shot, he'll play Andrew Farrell at CDM. It's very possible. We've seen it before. It's gonna be a game. It's gonna be
Yeah.
very interesting. I'm very concerned. Again, this is why I think this team loses 3-1. The numbers, the players they're missing,
Yeah.
the roles that people are gonna have to play. It's gonna be too difficult for them to contend with.
Yeah. It's I didn't even think Tershman was gonna be ready for this game, regardless of international call-ups, and I don't expect him to be ready for the Toronto game now with this call-up. I expect it a game or so late because
Yeah.
he'll come back from international. He still has to get accustomed to like the team and all that, and then maybe he makes his debut the game after Toronto. But I don't think we see much of him.
Yeah, that'll be at
Like,
Philadelphia.
and then we might only get like
A glimpse of him maybe
if
on the
he doesn't play
bench.
that game, he gets max 3 games.
Yeah.
So I don't think we see him much this year. I think that was a given, but with this international call for him, it is not looking good right now for him playing the season for the Revs. But
Yeah.
he can lead us to a playoff push, right? In 3 games, 3 games, 3 wins. He scores in every single one. Uh, Hat trick.
Yeah.
That's we'll just hope for that.
Hat trick, but then Caleb Porter won't get his losing goal difference that he always fights for. That's
God,
why he always subs in the defenders when we're either tying or
I
losing.
do want to say, uh, we had Thomas Chunkley on that free kick earlier. You know, put Tanner Beeson on that.
Yeah,
Put
yeah,
Tanner Beeson, put Tanner Beeson on that. He figured that one out.
yeah,
He can do something. Either way, Campana, missing Tushman's bad. Fofana has been playing well as of late, so
yeah.
not a huge fan of him leaving. Alex Molny, he's a good player for Revs too. I do want to see him get a shot at some point with the first team. Like, you know,
Yeah.
give him
Seeing
give
how
him
it's
off the bench on the Open Cup. Like, I don't know how well he can hang with these guys. I think he was with Chicago too a few years back. I just
Yeah, I think Alex Monis is definitely on the outside looking in regards to players from Revs 2 to get a call up. I think if anyone from Revs 2 is gonna get their name called, again, Allen or Yearworth and Malcolm Fry are first team players, so that's not a surprise to see them there. But if there's anyone from Revs 2 that's gonna get a call up, it's probably Cristiano Oliveira or Liam Butts.
yeah,
Those two make the most sense as they're both Americans. If there's someone on an international scale, it would be probably Marcos Diaz.
yeah,
And if we're going more expanded than that, which I hope we don't,
yeah,
um, I would like to see Javon Mussenden instead. Alex Monis is a good player, but he's not as good as people think he is.
yeah. Liam Buss I've talked about quite a bit on this podcast. I want to see him get a shot. Isn't he a Guyana? I don't know how to
So
say.
he's Guyana international, but however, he was born in New York, so he is American.
Okay, so that's
Yes.
good. Um, I do want to see him get a shot though. He seems
Or
he's a good player.
no, he was born in Georgia, actually. Hold on. He was born in Lawrenceville, Georgia.
It's like the same place, right?
Yeah.
No,
New York.
Georgia and New York, two different things.
Yeah.
But
Either way,
definitely deserves to get a shot.
yeah, he deserves that shot. Would like to see that. And then seeing those young guys um for like the Revs youth teams, good to see them get called up. Future of the Revs right there. Um, I'm gonna jump to Revs Loan Watch real quick. We got Jack Petio. He is back for Hartford.
Yeah.
15 minutes off the bench for North Carolina FC. I'm not too I'm not too mad to see that. I'm pretty happy because
Only one touch, but
only one touch, but he's back from injury.
yeah, yeah. I
He
mean,
will not be on the Revs next year. There's
uh,
no way.
I don't
He's on loan. I do not see him at all playing with this. He is going to live in the championship for the rest of his career.
yeah.
It's unfortunate,
It's
but
unfortunate because I feel like he was brought up to the Revs too soon.
yeah, way too soon.
He was brought up with Nolbach and he was brought up with Esmir Baraktarovic. And those two guys, Esmer's now playing for the Bosnian national team and scoring goals for PSV in the Eredivisie. Nolbach putting in a shift over in San Jose. Yeah, Jack Pagnotu in the championship. It's it's unfortunate because I feel like he got his career fast tracked and it didn't do him any good. Because when those guys got opportunities, he was on the outside looking in. Unfortunate for him. Um, really, really unfortunate.
yeah,
He like you said, he's gonna end up living in the championship. Um, it's gonna be. I feel like that could be like he could have a similar story. To what is now, Ryan Spalding. Because I feel like Ryan Spalding's on that bridge between a like depth piece MLS and that, and if Jack Pagnotu manages to have some progression, he's still young enough. He's not like a teenager anymore, but he's still young in a sense. If he shows some progression, I could see him coming back in MLS, not as a major player, but as like someone that like is brought in if you like need depth at that position. But I don't see him come back to MLS as I don't see him back as a Rev. I don't see much. It's unfortunate. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Santiago Thiago Suarez. What's your take on him?
Thiago Suarez, great player. I think he has actually a lot of upside. Again, he's a 6'5" center back, right back. Okay, that's
He's a big dude.
he's great. Nice guy, nice kid. Understands his role, understands his purpose. Was really good with Revs too. Last year. However, one of the reasons why he was sent on loan was to give him a little bit more more competition, really, kind of get him more acclimated to um a harder league. Again, USL Championship is way harder than MLS Next Pro. It's similar, but just different. The MLS Next Pro, a lot of it is kids, whereas in the USL Championship, it is a lot of adults.
Yeah.
So, the biggest thing, or his biggest issue last year was the number of cards he got. He got 5 yellow cards and 3 red cards last season for the Revs too, which is too much. And I know you have it bullet pointed, so I'll bring it up. He's got a yellow card in 3 of his last 3 games, so that's a little concerning to see. You like to see your outside back or center back getting stuck in, but at the same time, like we need to be a little smarter with our decision making, and I think that's why he was sent on loan, to kind of learn that. But again, he's on a Birmingham team that's pretty bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
see I see 6 yellow cards this season for him. It's just that's not really what you want to see out of a center back. Um,
yeah, especially working on discipline, 100%.
when discipline is your one of your clause.
Yeah.
That's really not what you want to see. Still getting a handful of cards. Um,
Yeah, it's also more difficult. Refs usually look at, the bigger guy. And if he's a big guy and,
yeah,
really anything because some of, attackers are, 5'10", 5'8". Like some of them are not as tall. And if you're that defender in wingers, you really do anything really, you could get a card. So it's difficult as well for him.
Yeah, in 2023 he had 6 yellow cards for Revs 2, and then in 2024 he had 6 yellow cards, but with 3 red cards as well. So
not great.
Not great at
it
all.
it happens.
And then you got Max Weinstein, who is in Estonia,
Yeah.
which, still don't know how he ended up there. That is an insane, like, transfer loan to Estonia, which is just how do you even find someone in Revs 2 and just think, all right, yeah, that's our goalkeeper right there. That is,
Not doing too well either. So,
Well, with Max Weinstein, it's a little different. He got a Max Weinstein got a new agent, new agent, and he needed to get minutes. And with his positioning at Rebs 2, I know he wasn't happy at Rebs 2. I know a lot of players, whether they're active on Revs 2 or in the Revs first team, are still not bought in, or not really not bought in. They're not they don't enjoy the coaching styles of Richie Williams, and it's hard to translate the coaching styles of Richie Williams to Caleb Porter. So it's hard to be connected with that. And with a player like Max Weinstein, you're in a depth chart. Obviously, if you look at it from the ground up, um, he's closer to the bottom where he's slipped behind JD Gunn. Then there's who's a Panama international. Then you look at Donovan Parisian, who is an Armenian international because he's going to represent Armenia at the youth level. You then look and expand that, and then you look at the first team. You have Alex Bodo, you have Alja Ivacic, you have Matt Turner. So he is in a difficult scenario of looking to get minutes, especially when the Revs are trying to not only cater to JD Gunn, who's an international, but also Donovan Parisian, their young goalkeeper they just drafted as well. So with Max, he wanted to go and get minutes, and going to Talina Kalev in the Maestro Liga in Estonia, that's going to get him minutes. And though their results haven't been pretty, again, I think they were in last place when they joined. When he joined, I believe they're still in last place. That's fine. I mean, for Max Weinstein, like he's going to make saves. He's gonna face 30 shots a game. Like that's good. He's gonna get development. And I think one of the things with him is at New England, or at least where he was in New England's depth chart, as well as under Richie Williams, Brad Knighton, and Michael Milazzo and that crew there. Like he wasn't going to get minutes, so he needs to go and make sure that he doesn't fall below in his development. And you can't have you can't have instances where he continues to falter and fall and fall and fall. You can't just let a player die like that. You need to make sure you're developing. And even though you're in Estonia in the middle of Europe, uh, teams are going to look at you regardless of how many goals you allow. And it's all statistical based. If he faces 40 shots and only lets 2 goals in, it's still pretty good.
yeah,
So.
that's his run of form hasn't been amazing, losing 2-0, losing 4-0, uh, and then he lost like 6-1, but he's facing shots. That's what that shows.
yeah, and it's also difficult coming into a team that is in last place. You're going to expect to face tons of shots, so it's not like it's getting any easier. So yeah, I mean, it's good for him. Get some experience, get some saves in, and
Yeah,
hopefully,
getting that game time.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's good for him. Um, I don't really got anything else. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I want to look forward to this Chicago game. Hopefully, it's gonna be tough with everyone going to international duty. I don't see us winning, but I always say even if I don't see us winning, I always have hope for the game.
I know. Okay.
Yeah,
Caleb, you got anything else to add?
No, thanks for having me on. First off, I think it's been fun. Obviously, it's a difficult year to cover the Revs, and hopefully Hopefully they can end the year on a good note, and if not, hopefully next year can be better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if they fire Caleb Porter,
5K player.
I
Good on
think
you.
a lot of it will be, maybe not all of it, but some of it will be forgiven, at least for me.
Yeah, go make sure to follow Caleb Pongratz on all platforms. On Instagram, Caleb_Pongratz. On X, Caleb Pongratz 10. And then go check out his stuff over on Prost International. He's got some great stuff over there. Go follow us at Foxboro's Fortress on Instagram, Foxboro Fortress on X. Couldn't figure out the character limit on that one. So the S is just not gonna pair. If you're on YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. If you're on Spotify, make sure you're following. Comment or DM us with any questions or comments. Thank you, Leading Lights LLC, again for sponsoring this episode. Next episode should come out Monday, although this one is coming out on Tuesday. This was
Foxboro's Fortress.